Good morning. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Mindset Monday. Happy Monday, and I'm happy to be here with you this morning, and I'm grateful that you have chosen to be with me this morning, whether you're here live, which I love because I love interaction, or you're choosing to watch this later on a recorded time that works for you. So I just feel grateful that you have chosen to hang out with Carrie Davis Consulting, aka me. And I think we have a cool topic today, and we're going to just get right into it. This past week, I shared a reel with you guys about what an incredible morning I had with my team last Tuesday. Well, what did I do with my team last Tuesday? I did a business building program with my team last Tuesday, and I haven't done one for a really long time. Like, I'm talking about years. And you might be wondering, how could it be so long since you've done a business building program with your team when that's what you do for a living, Carrie? It's like you work with businesses to help them build their business. You travel around to other salons and help them build their business. But it's kind of like the shoemaker's kids have no shoes. And so I thought these kids needed some shoes. So I was super excited to write a program for my own team and uh, and do a program for them last week, and it went so good. And it was so amazing to see the light bulbs going off in their eyes and um, to see the connections being made. And it had been such a long time since I'd done a program like that for them. And what I loved about it is that, and I love this when I'm doing programs for salons in general, is that I think sometimes we're like this too as leaders, is we have our own rhythm and we show up to work and we do things the way we've always done things, right? We get up and we have a routine and we do what we've always done. We see things the same way and we don't have a different vantage point or a different viewpoint. And so we just get up, and we call that a habit. We get up and we do what is habitual to us. And our staff is the same way. They do what's habitual to us. But after I did this business building program for my team, I jumped on here and I did a reel earlier in the week. And I was sharing in that reel how part of the program that I did was this portion called Say Yes to Your Check, or why do we say no to our check so many times? And I got some messages on that reel of people that were curious about that. And then I got some DMs on that reel of people asking, what do you mean? What do you mean saying no to your check? Or what do you mean say yes to the check? But really, what do you mean when we show up and say no to the check? And so I thought, well, that was a lot of interaction or a lot of questions that I got. It sparked a lot of interest in people. So I thought I would just jump on here and elaborate a little bit more around the concept and mindset around why and how we we have a choice every day that we walk into our world and say yes to our check or say no to our check. And it starts with our mindset and our thinking. And before I get going, I want to acknowledge and say hey to a lot of you guys. So I want to say hi to people that have joined in here on Instagram, and hi, Patty and Con. And thank you, Con, and Jennifer, Sam, good to see you. It's really good to see you guys this morning. Thank you for popping in. I see a lot of other people, so thanks for coming in this morning. Um, so we're going to talk today about how do we shift our thinking, how do we shift our vantage point to see something different so we can do something different. But I want to start off with a story that's completely not relevant to our business, but I promise I'm going to swing back around and make it relevant. So the story starts off with last October. My nephew and his fiance, soon to be wife, they bought a house, and they bought a brand new house right at the same time they were about to get married. And they completely gutted and renovated this house. They did a ton of work on the house. And as they were getting ready to move into the house right after they got married, they didn't have any furniture. And I was looking at my living room, my front room, and I thought to myself, I've had this furniture for so long. I'm talking years, and it was in great shape, but I was just ready to like refresh my front room, my living room. And so I said, hey guys, if you want to come and take this furniture, I think it would look good in your place. Take what you want, bring a U-Haul. So they show up literally the next day on moving day, and they bring a U-Haul and empty out my entire living room. Fine. The rug, the couch, the chairs, the dining, the coffee table, the end tables, the lamps. I walk in my house after I help them move everything out, and my room's empty. So it's like a blank slate. And I'm like, what am I even going to do with this room? Right? It's an empty room. And so I'm sitting with this room since like October, November, December. And so I just don't even have any inspiration. So I call a really good friend of mine who's like my brother, who lives in Chicago, who is a designer. He's like a renowned designer. And I asked him, I really begged him to come out to help me with this room because I don't even know where to start, right? And he's actually out this weekend. Okay. He begrudgingly agreed to come out. We sent him a plane ticket. I'm like, you are coming out here to help. And so um, he flew out Thursday night, and Friday morning, super early, I had two coaching calls. Okay. And like a 7:30 and an 8:30. So I get out of my calls at 9:30. So this is Friday morning. He comes out Thursday. Friday morning, I open the door to my office and I'm hearing all this noise. Laura's at work, my wife, and the whole house is like, now mind you, it's like one room that I need help with, but the whole house is being rearranged. Things from upstairs or downstairs. The console from under the TV from another room is being moved in this living room. I'm like, well, what is going on? He's like, I need to move things around because we're moving things around so that we can see what we're going to need for this room. I'm like, I thought we were just going to be redecorating this one room. He's like, I know, but we just need to move things around. But I'm thinking to myself, well, I moved in this house 10 years ago, right? When I moved in this house 10 years ago, all these other rooms got decorated, but I haven't thought about it since. So for 10 years, I've been walking in this house, and every room in the house has been a certain way. And it's been a certain way, and I haven't thought about it. I just walk in the house, and the house is a certain way. And so when somebody comes in, and I'm not saying it's upsetting the apple cart, but it's starting to challenge the way I'm thinking about how I've always thought about my house. Well, what do you mean the chairs from up there are coming down here and this is going in that room? And how am I supposed to process that when I've always thought about it being this way? And but God forbid, like he's taking time out of his life to come down here. How can I challenge that when this is his job? And I talked last week about bringing people into your life who know more than you know, who do, who are at your level but better, who are your accountability people, who can help you see things that you can't see for yourself. So who am I to challenge that thinking? Do you see where I'm going with this? Right? So how do I surrender to that and say, okay, what do I need to do? I'll help you move this and move that and open myself up to see what could work and look differently, to see differently, to be here and be there. And then maybe different things could be different and see things from a different vantage point. And when we see things from a different vantage point, let's circle around to when I first started talking about this. And I said, sometimes we see what we always see and don't get a different vantage point because we're used to doing things a certain way in our business. And when we think about this story or our life, we walk in our house, we don't see that things have been piled up in the corner or things have always been a certain way. I couldn't even imagine my TV room without a console underneath the TV. But today, there's no console under the TV. There's two chairs facing this way and a couch facing this way, and the console is in the other room. And I couldn't have even thought about that. So, are there ways in our business to do business that we are not even thinking about, that we are maybe saying no to, that we don't even know we're saying no to, but we are, but we don't even know we are. So I just want to challenge that for a minute because uh I don't know, maybe we're not, but maybe we are, because I got to tell you that when I was walking in my house for the last 10 years, I never thought that I was not challenging myself. I just wasn't thinking about it. So there's a saying that we don't even know what we don't even know, because no one's challenging us to even think that way. Does that make sense? So when I pose this question, why do we say no to our paycheck? And somebody would say, well, I don't say no to my paycheck. And it's like, okay, well, let's think about a couple of things I'm just going to throw out there. And I mean, I could go on about the things that we do and don't do that we say no to our check about. I could probably go on for like 2 days. I could go on for 3 days on things that we don't do that we say no to our check about, or things we do to say yes to our check that we're probably not even thinking about. But I'm just going to throw out three easy things. And I bet you guys can, now that you're going to challenge or be curious about it, you'll start unraveling this mindset because you're smart. You're going to be like, I didn't even think about that. So, Gabrielle says, sometimes we need a good challenge to see things different. Totally. And it's like with my house, there was no way in hell that I was going to say to my friend David, can you just move everything back? Because I'm not ready to see things different in my house when I fly him from Chicago out here to help me with what I thought was going to be one room. But in his mind, it's like, I'm moving things around this friggin' house because every time I come out here, it's driving me nuts, which he's never said because I've never even given him an opening for it. But like, my whole house is rearranged. And I got to tell you, we went and ordered furniture over the last few days. But even without the furniture, how the house is redone, I have walked in with a new sense of inspiration in my house because it's different and I am thinking differently because I'm living in a space that I was like, I didn't even think about this. I'm like, I have a new sense of inspiration now. That's what I want to create for you guys, this new sense of inspiration, because maybe you weren't even thinking about these things. So I'm going to throw a few things out that, I don't know, maybe you're thinking, I thought about these things, Carrie, and what a waste of a conversation. Maybe that's true, maybe it's not, but maybe it'll spark something. Okay, I don't really know. So, okay, look, if you guys walk into work like I usually walk into work and do the same things, you might have your same briefcase over your shoulder. You might walk in with the same mindset. I'm going to challenge you to maybe change up the bag that you have on your shoulder and put something new in it and read a little bit something before you walk in so that you have a different mindset and you have different glasses on, a set of what color are the glasses that you're walking in with. And maybe if you're a technician, you are setting your station up differently, but most of the time we walk in and we have the same habit. So here's like three things that I'm going to just throw out there that um, maybe you could do differently to say yes to your check. So saying yes to your check could mean this. So I'm going to tell you another story. Um, I believe that the consultation is one of the most powerful tools that we have in not only elevating the guest experience, but also in elevating our paycheck. So, in that guest experience, we make sure that the client has everything they need, and we make sure that we are hitting all of our marks, right? And inside that guest experience, there are specific questions that we need to be asking in order to make sure we're discovering the needs of our guest and make sure that we're offering the solutions that we need to offer in order to satisfy whatever the client needs. And there is one question in particular that, if asked, helps to get the client what they need and also helps to elevate your paycheck. And that one question is, and this is a question that I love, and that one question is, how do you feel the condition of your hair is? Or how do you feel the condition of your scalp is? Or you could ask it together. How do you feel the condition of your hair and your scalp is? You would ask that to the client. Now, when I pose this client in a room, let's say I'm doing a class, and I've done this in a class of 100 people. I've done this in a big classroom of 1,000 people before. And when I have gone around the room and asked 50 people in the room before, could be stylists sitting down, and I said, I'm going to do a test, and I'm going to go around the room, and I'm going to say, how do you feel the condition of your hair is? And they would say, oh, I feel it's dry on the ends. Or how do you feel the condition of your hair is? I'd go around the room and ask every single person in the room how they feel the condition of their hair is. And then I say to the room, what percentage of the room feels the condition of their hair is dry or needs some kind of treatment? And the majority of the time that I ask this question, 89 to 95% of the room needs some type of treatment on their hair. And that would be a scalp treatment or a conditioning treatment. I don't know about you, but in our salon, a scalp or conditioning treatment is $45. So if this question is asked every single guest every single day, I'm going to say that the probability of 50% of your clients, if not 60 to 70, would get a treatment. But that question's not asked. It's a simple question as you're going through a consultation to say, how do you feel the condition of your hair is, or how do you feel the condition of your scalp is? Every single guest, every single day, and based on what the client's answer is, would be the recommendation of how you're going to move forward. And so if every single client or every other client had a treatment, you tell me what your paycheck would look like or your service totals for the day, and the client would leave with their hair feeling shinier and healthier and feeling great and have an elevated service. And so when I say people usually don't say yes to their check, that would be saying yes to your check. That would be saying yes to an elevated service. That's example number one. But people don't do it. I don't know why they don't do it, because they say no to their check. Um, I'm going to give you another example. Most people, you may, but most people don't schedule their clients for their next appointment. If you're tracking your pre-book, you should be between 70 and 80% pre-booked. I wholeheartedly believe that. I just put that out on my Instagram, my post. There's so many people out there and coaches out there that have talked about not pre-booking their clients because people cancel and reschedule and no show. I just think that is just a bunch of bullshit. Yes, people no show. Yes, people need to cancel last minute or reschedule, but overarching over the course of a year, over the 32 years that I've owned my business, I, I'm not here talking to you with no experience. Okay, I'm 32 years of owning multiple businesses. I'm here talking to you with experience. I didn't just wake up and decide to be a coach. Okay, I mean, my feet are in the trenches with y'all. All right, so the truth is, the fact is, the proof is that people that are 70 to 80% pre-booked 85, 86% pre-booked. These people are 75, 80, 85% busy. And the only reason that maybe they're not 90 and 100% busy is because they might have a cancellation in a day. So percentage pre-booked equals percentage retention. So you are going to have a higher retention when you're pre-booked. Not only when you pre-book your clients, do you retain them at a higher level, but you also are in charge of FOV, frequency of visit. You determine the frequency of visit. If you let your client leave, they determine the frequency of visit and they determine your paycheck. If you leave it to the client, they're going to come in 4 to 5 times a year because they're going to call, then they're going to try to get in, and then they can't get in for a couple weeks, and then maybe they'll go to somebody else, and then either you lose them or they come in later in the month, and then they're coming in 4 to 5 times a year. When you schedule them in, they come in 6 to 7 times a year, sometimes 8, depending on what they're having done. So you're increasing your revenue by 30% at least. But people don't have that conversation. They don't make it a point to every single guest that comes in to get them pre-booked. I didn't say 100%. I said 70 to 80% of those clients should be rescheduled. But a lot of times stylists say, I don't want to be pushy. I don't want to this. I don't want to that. Okay, so say no to your paycheck. This is what I'm saying. So when I say people say no to their check, they choose to not have the conversations. They choose to not say, how do you feel the condition of your hair is? They choose to not say, I want to see you back in this amount of time in order to maintain that color, in order to maintain that look, in order to, you're choosing to say no to your check. If you want to say yes to the check, say yes to the things that elevate the client experience, and say yes to the things that elevate your check. All right, number 3. Thank God we only have a little bit of time left because this one's a little bit controversial. Okay, number 3. Let me have a drink. Let me take a shot before I go into this one. Lemon water. All right, number 3. Saying yes to the check. You can call me old school on this one, but I'm going to go for it anyways. Number 3 on saying yes to your check is, what do you look like, people, when you are coming into work, whether you have a dress code at work or whether you don't? People want to raise their prices. They want to charge $100 a haircut, 200, 300, 400, 500, whatever. However much you want to charge for color, however much you want to charge for haircut. You want to charge hourly, you want to charge a la carte. I don't have an issue. I'm not one of those coaches, speakers that dictate and tell you exactly how you should be running your business. I'm here to help you choose what's best for you. I don't put down a mandate of how the industry should run. I don't believe in black and white thinking. But there are some things that I feel really strongly about, practices that I feel really strongly about, that I know for a fact help you make more money. When people come in looking amazing because you took time to put yourself together for the day, I can tell you that you feel more confident. I can tell you that when your clients come in, they're going to look at you and say, I trust that person, as opposed to somebody dragging their ass in with their hair wet, coming in late, wondering who's next on their schedule for the day, and then wanting to raise their prices. So I'm here to tell you, get ready in the morning. And why is it that when you're going to go out at night, y'all are like taking 90 minutes to, like, you're running late for the people picking you up? Okay, you're running late because you still haven't had your hair done, you still haven't put your makeup on, you still haven't like figured out what outfit you're going to wear because you want to look so good. Your shoes, your this, you got to pick this out and that out. But when you're getting ready to come into work where people are going to pay you They're going to pay you. Your freaking hair is wet. You're dragging your ass in late. You don't even have like your schedule. You haven't even looked at who is coming in to give you the money that you're complaining about not making. And you look like death warmed over. So when I say, why aren't you saying yes to your paycheck and you're saying no to your check? Yeah, that's number three. That's the anchor. How do you look when you come in? I have a saying that I preach to my team, and the saying goes like this, and I've been saying this for 20 years. Be now what you want to become. Be it now. Don't like say, well, when I am a six-figure hairdresser, I'm going to look like one. No, look like one now and then become that six-figure hairdresser. You don't wait to make the six figures. You can go to a consignment store. You can go to H&M. You can go to any store and get anything and look amazing. Put yourself together, people. I go into work on my day off to get my hair done, and I make sure that I am just looking the part because I know I'm going to be running into people. What is wrong with you? You guys make sure you look great for your interview, and then 2 months into working for the company, you don't put a stitch of lip gloss on. Your hair's greasy. It's in a scrunchie. Come on now. I know you know better than this. Don't make me spend another 30 minutes here talking about dress code because we know this. And you know what? I'm going to just also say this. If you're putting something on and you think to yourself, "Ugh, do you think you're going to see this bleach mark on my shirt?" They're going to see it. If you're looking down thinking, are they going to see the scuff marks on my shoes? Yeah, they're going to see it. Why? Because they're sitting with you for an hour and they've got nothing to look at except all the crap on your shirt that you didn't roll off or that you didn't iron or that it's faded or your scuffed shoes or your dirty gym shoes that you shouldn't even be wearing to work. So, oh, sorry. Did I go off? Okay, I usually compose myself a little bit more, but I have 32 pent-up years of salon ownership that I could totally just be going on a tangent. Y'all, when I say, why do we say no to our paychecks? Why are we showing up saying no to the check? We say no to the check by the way we dress. We say no to the check by not asking the questions every guest every day to our clients. We say no to our check by not educating our clients on what we're using and why we're using it. We wonder why it's a multi-billion-dollar business out there for products online, in beauty supplies, in Target, in Walmart, at Costco, because we're not doing our job, because we say no to our check every single day. That's why. So when you want to start saying yes to your check, and you want to start building that business, start coming in and thinking differently. And you can start saying yes to that check by reverse engineering the things that I talked about. So be now what you want to become. Come in and start thinking differently, right? Like I talked earlier about, like, I just walked into my house for the past 10 years and just thought my house, I decorated it 10 years ago. And I didn't even think that it could look differently, but it looks differently because someone came in and rearranged my whole house. Well, I hope that I rearrange your whole brain. I want you to start thinking differently. And as leaders, if you're leaders on this, I want you to start thinking differently about how we coach our team. And in order for us to do that as leaders, we have to start thinking differently about how we lead. If you're leading the same way, you're going to keep getting the same thing, right? If we keep doing the same things, we're going to keep getting the same things, right? So, who knew it was going to get heated on number 3 today on my notes, for God's sakes? Look, let me see. Well, there's a lot of participation on this when I got to dress code. Con, yes, I can't wait to do my training with you guys next week. Maria, good to see you here. All right. Well, it looks like a lot of y'all have some things to say. Y'all are agreeing with this. All right. Yes, I am on my pulpit. Um, I am on my pulpit today. I mean, sometimes it just goes down like that. I come in all zen. I did my gratitude meditation, and then I step off it and I start going into dress code. So, what can I tell you? I won't be here next week because I will be up at Karen Allen Salon doing a training for their salon, but I will be back the following week. So, if you guys want to start doing things different, seeing things different, and you need some help stepping out of the box, you know how to reach me. If you're here, you know how to get in touch with me. Drop me a comment. Let me know what your thoughts are on this topic. I love it. If there's anything else you want me to talk about, throw me a comment, send me a DM. I love that you guys sent me all those comments about what is saying yes to the check mean, because here we are. This is what it is. You guys asked for this today and you got it, probably more than you asked for. I didn't even know that this was going to take up a half hour today, and here we are. So, look, you guys have an amazing week. Out of the box thinking. I bet you're going to look around your house too today and be like, hey, I can start moving some stuff around. I'll thank David for you. Have a great week. Ciao, ciao.